Breaking down all 19 things you missed from Survivor 43 episode 11. We're talking all things Cody finding the advantage, Sammy's shot in the dark, old school Survivor challenges, and much more. Careful for any spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet. And make sure to stick around as we announce last week's buff giveaway winner. If you want to enter next week's buff giveaway, make sure to like the video, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below your thoughts on the episode. Let's get started with number 19, Sammy recaps Survivor. We all remember what happened during last week's episode. Noelle was voted out in heroic fashion. This screws over Sammy a little bit. He thought he was in the majority and Carla was going to be voted out, but he was fully wrong here. It was ultimately Sammy and Owen who voted incorrectly last tribal council. Not so bad for Sammy. It's the first time he voted wrong, but Owen's voted wrong so many times. Number 18, Sammy apology tour. It's dark out, everyone can barely see, and they're all just so confused where that extra vote for Carla came from. It was Sammy. He's gonna try and keep it a secret. It doesn't go too well for him. Sammy tries to play dumb, and it reminds me of Natalie Anderson from Survivor San Juan del Sur. She was able to pull off a move like this. Although it goes so poorly for Sammy, we know what's gonna happen at the end of the episode. I must say I've never related to a last words more. Number 17, Gabler in a good spot. I hope I'm wrong, but I have a feeling that Owen is slowly turning into that 0 vote finalist, that GOAT of the season. Ultimately, that GOAT, or the person that's gonna get 0 vote to the final tribal council, is the perfect person to take to the final 3. I think Gabler agrees with that because he has a plan to take Owen to the final 3, hiding in plain sight or whatever. I say it every episode, but mark my words, I think Gabler's in a really good spot. He's gonna do well in this game. Number 16, Owen and his feels. We briefly talked about it. I feel so bad for Owen here. He's a huge Survivor superfan in his feels. The last time Owen voted correctly all season was at the very first tribal council. He's been struggling a lot this season. He has an amazing confessional comparing his game to a Charlie Brown story.
It's like Charlie Brown trying to kick the football and Lucy's taking it away. You know, and he falls on his back, like always.
Number 15, Sammy flashback. Every single episode, every single recap, I'm gonna say the exact same thing. I always think if someone's gonna get a flashback that episode, there's a chance they'll be going home later. Sammy gets a flashback here. And look, you gotta give me some credit. I finally got it right this week. We'll talk about it later. You wouldn't think at first glance that Sammy's in that bad of a spot. It's only the first time all season he's voted wrong. The issue is no one trusts him at all anymore. He's been flip-flopping back and forth between alliances all season. He has a nice story, a nice flashback about always being scared to try to do the thing, and he wants to make his mom proud. Ultimately, hopefully he did, because it's too little too late for Sammy. Number 14, Sammy and Carla. Sammy's trying his best here to rebuild that trust he had with Carla, even though he literally voted for Carla at the last tribal council. He does end up picking the right thing to say to Carla, trying to throw Cass's name under the bus, because the crazy thing is Carla somewhat buys it. Number 13, Carla's idol. This felt super weird and out of place to me when we got a flashback to Carla and Cassidy talking about Carla's idol. Once again, since when did this happen? I feel like we've been out of the loop all season on hidden immunity idols. I might be thinking a little too much into the edit, but with all the throwaway comments about hidden immunity idols all season long, think this moment right here with Carla and Cassidy talking about Carla's hidden immunity idol, and a few episodes ago when Jesse talks about knowing about Carla's hidden immunity idol. Because of all these throwaway comments of idols, I have a feeling they're not going to be relevant in the last couple episodes. Number 12, Carla and Cass. Although Carla and Cass have been a tight duo all season, Carla's not sure if she wants to work with her anymore. She thinks it might be better to vote Cassidy out of the game, and that way no one knows about her idol. This is gonna come up again just before tribal council. We're gonna talk about it then. Number 11, surprise twist. We knew this was coming from last week's promo. The players are gonna receive a random note that says advantage in the jungle, go. During Survivor 41 and Survivor 42, this was the episode with the do or die twist, so I have a feeling this replaced the do or die. Obviously, normal scavenger hunts on Survivor nowadays aren't that exciting to watch, but not gonna lie, when I saw all these players in chaos running around everywhere, I thought it was kind of entertaining. Gabler takes a bunch of people on a crazy recon mission through the jungle, and the best moment here had to be when all the cameras were messing with all the players with where the advantage was. If you remember from Survivor Edge of Extinction, Rick Devens for sure has so many nightmares about moments like this. Cody ends up being the person to find it. He's talking with Gabler the moment it's found, but he doesn't get caught. Number 10, Cody's advantage. This is gonna be the new choose your champion Survivor advantage. It's a weird name to it. The first part of the advantage is kind of basic. You gotta pick someone to hopefully win the challenge, and if they do, you win as well. However, it's not that simple. The added layer to it is if you pick the right person, the safety that you earn will be kept secret from everyone until after the votes are cast at tribal council, but before they are read. We're about to talk about it. Cody picked Owen to be his champion. Number 9, old school Survivor. When Cody was reading that note, all Survivor superfans knew exactly what challenge they were talking about. And if you're a Survivor superfan superfan, you might be interested in idle plays and my replica Survivor Fire puzzles. Little bit of important information though, I'm only going to have these puzzles available for 1 more week. If you are interested, I have 3 different colors available: red, orange, and yellow. If you want to help support me and the channel, go check out the fire puzzles. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention they also come with an idle plays bag to hold them in. I'll leave a link down in the description if you're interested. Number 8, Mat Chat. Not much to talk about here. Cody gives the advantage to Jeff. Jeff tells everyone it's the choose your champion advantage. But that's all the other players are gonna know about it because it's gonna be kept secret until Tribal Council. Number 7, Immunity Challenge. You have no idea how excited I was to see this challenge when we saw it in last week's promo. It's a classic Survivor challenge. Any Survivor superfan, when they see this, they want to dream of doing this challenge one day, which I must say is a really weird phenomenon that happens because this challenge has only taken place a couple times in all 43 seasons. Anyways, you're in the water under a steel barrier. As the tide rises, your breathing room will get less and less, and the last man standing wins. This was the first time we've ever seen this challenge in Fiji. It's for really good reason. Super important, we're about to talk about it. Spoiler alert, I'm a little mad. Number 6, the challenge. The entire time this challenge was going on, although I was super hyped up, I want to do this challenge, I couldn't put my finger on it, but something felt wrong about this challenge. Make no mistake about it, I was loving every second of it. It felt like old school Survivor. Jeff even talks about this felt like a time they would inflict more pain on the players. Dalton Ross agrees. We had the old school Survivor music playing when the challenge was taking place. Ho-wee, 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 ha, hee-ya, ho. But then I finally figured it out. But before I say that, I need to put some respect on Carla and Owen's name. They did the challenge, or this version of the challenge, to the best of their ability, and they won. The problem is, in seasons past, when the water rises up, it goes up slowly until the players physically can't breathe at all. I don't know if you noticed while watching, but that's not how this challenge took place. The water in Fiji is way too rough, so the swells become super high up and then super low. Super high, super low. In my opinion, the true version of this challenge is with the slow rise up of the water, not high and low swells. Jeff talks about how they're not going to make a challenge go on forever. Well, you have done that before, Jeff. Number 5, Cassidy in rough shape. Technically, she's not physically in rough shape. I would say more emotionally in rough shape for giving up during the challenge. I want to use the word giving up really lightly. It's claustrophobia to the max here. People are going to be freaking out. You can't breathe. It's a whole nervous situation. But Carla and Owen showed off that if you're able to stay calm, you can just beat the challenge. This is the type of challenge that it's fully on you for quitting or even giving up. Number 4, the easy vote. Is there really ever an easy vote in New School Survivor? I would say tonight, obviously, yes. The votes were 6 for one person and 0 for anyone else. We're about to talk about that when we get to Tribal Council. The problem is here, so many people are safe. We're at the final 7. Owen and Carla won immunity, so they're safe, and no one's gonna risk voting for Cody in case he's safe as well, which means the only people up for elimination is Cassidy, Sammy, Gabler, and Jesse. Carla kind of wants to take out her number 1 ally, Cassidy, because she knows about Carla's hidden immunity idol. We also see Sammy randomly talking about wanting to play a shot in the dark tonight, so I was convinced 100% he was playing it. The shot in the dark has been irrelevant, and I mean truly irrelevant, all season long, so because they're randomly talking about it here, it must have meant something. Number 3, Jesse and Cody. In my opinion, these two players have been in the driver's seat all season long. When there's a plan A, they have the chance to do plan B, and if plan A and plan B aren't the good options, sometimes they'll just do plan C. Peridium agrees perfectly. Jesse and Cody have been in control all season long. Sammy's the easy vote because no one trusts him, but it could also put Carla in a really bad spot, which they like. Look, ultimately this doesn't end up mattering because Carla does vote correctly, but I love the idea they had not telling Carla about the plan, so Carla still votes for Cassidy, putting a wedge between Carla and Cassidy so they would fight and never work together again. Ultimately, I think this was just a misdirection to try and hide the fact this was a super easy 6-0 vote. Although it was an easy vote, I also agree it was the smart vote to take Sammy out here. We talked about it a little bit, but Sammy's a GOAT that no one trusts. He's a 0 vote finalist if he makes the final 3, but on top of that, he's also amazing at fire, so he would win the fire making challenge. Because Sammy's the 0 vote finalist, everyone wants to take him, which means that's taking the spot away from someone else. Voting him out here opens up that final 3 spot. Number 2, Tribal Council. Tribal Council for the first bit was kind of boring. I was like la 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 until Sammy brought up his big plan. He tells everyone he's gonna play his shot in the dark tonight and just see what happens. Which I need to ask you, do you think shot in the dark is a bust? It hasn't worked at all throughout all 3 seasons of Survivor we've seen it. If Survivor was scripted or Survivor's fake, 100% Sammy would have been safe tonight. But ultimately, number 1, Sammy voted out. Anyways, congratulations Jen, you're this week's buff giveaway winner. I'll announce a new winner next week, and click right here for the Survivor 44 cast assessment.